morning Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Gay marriage now legal in the Cayman Islands. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Friday, March 29. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Ricardo Roberts. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The law in the Cayman Islands is set to be changed to give same-sex couples the same marriage rights as people in heterosexual relationships. This is the effect of a landmark judgment delivered in Grand Court on Friday morning when Chief Justice Anthony Smelly ruled that the definition of marriage as being between a man and a woman is unconstitutional and violates multiple rights. And he ordered that Section 2 of the marriage law must be amended to state that marriage means, quote, the union between two people as one another's spouses. His ruling followed a petition filed by Caymanian Chantel Day and her partner Vicky Borden-Bush after government refused their application to marry last April. The Chief Justice said the court was bound not to allow the violation of the petitioners' rights to continue without redress. He said they and their daughter are entitled to the court putting an immediate end to the indignities to which they have been subjected, and the couple was delighted that their relationship will be recognized by the law.
It's just great. It shows that love wins, and I'm really happy that the right result was received today.
Emerging from the court after the ruling, Attorney General Samuel Bulgin said the government must now decide on its next step.
Very interesting judgment, and I understand that the government will have to take some time to consider it and think about how to move forward. Thank you.
In other news now, pilots employed with cash-strapped regional airline Liat have agreed to a salary cut in a bid to keep the airline flying. Carl Burke, president of the Leeward Islands Airline Pilots Association, LIALPA, told CMC News on Friday that he was not at liberty to disclose the exact amount the pilots had agreed to until they were sure Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley has received their communication on the matter. But he did confirm that the pay cut agreed to was less than 10% requested by Liat. Burke said the airline had asked for that salary cut across the board, but LIALPA had responded in a letter saying the pilots did not have the confidence in Liat's management to take them out of the current situation.
We met with the shareholders on Tuesday, and Prime Minister Mottley did give a guarantee that as long as she was at the shareholder level, that she would ensure that there was accountability and that it would not be business as usual. The pilots last night actually voted to give a concession in the sense of in terms of a wage cut, which was communicated today to Prime Minister Mottley.
Trade unions representing the airline's workers in its 15 destinations have agreed in principle to a 6% salary cut, pending further deliberations with their members. And it had been reported that the pilots were not on board. But Burke dismissed suggestions that they were to blame for holding up efforts to ensure the survival of the airline.
I think that we should have been blamed for that, as stated earlier on. We are in a situation where the management have made some serious blunders over the years, and this has placed us in the position that we are in right now. The pilots took the time out to explain a lot of these things to the shareholders. They're basically now being brought into the loop of a lot of what goes on in the day-to-day runnings of Liat. They listened to us. They were very concerned about what the unions brought to the table. And as I said, Prime Minister Mia Mottley, being a new player at the shareholder level, has recognized that things need to be fixed within yet. Otherwise, we're going to always be coming cap in hand to the shareholders seeking funding. And this should not be.
The Lialpa president said shareholders should not be taking taxpayers' money to put into Liat every year, and he hoped things would get more serious at the board level.
Prime Minister Mia Mottley has also offered the staff 2 seats on the board of Liat, so that the staff can have an input at the board level. Also, the pilots have been promised a seat on the scheduling committee to assist the scheduling committee with the inefficiencies in the schedule.
The Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, has set May 10th as the date to hear the appeal against the Guyana Court of Appeal ruling that invalidated the no-confidence motion passed in December last year. And CCJ President Justice Adrian Saunders told a case management conference on Friday morning that the matter is urgent and should be treated as such. The CCJ has ordered that the separate appeals filed against the Court of Appeal ruling by opposition leader Barack Jagdeo and attorney Christopher Ram be consolidated. The Trinidad-based court has also given Attorney General Basil Williams and any other respondents until Monday, April 8th to file any cross appeals. In addition, the CCJ has instructed that the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, be joined as a party in the appeal. The CCJ, which is Guyana's highest court, also ordered that notices of appeal be served on GECOM by April 5th. At the latest, written submissions must be filed by all parties on April 17th. All replies must be submitted by April 23rd, and a pre-trial hearing will be held on April 24th. Jagdeo and Ram want the CCJ to throw out the Court of Appeals ruling and restore the validity of the no-confidence motion passed against the coalition government on December 21st, 2018. The opposition leader also wants the court to declare that 33 votes constitute a majority when it comes to a no-confidence motion and not 34 as the Court of Appeal had ruled. Staying in Georgetown, Minister of State Joseph Harmon says government will not be removing its dual citizenship members of Parliament just yet, and they will all be present in the National Assembly at its next sitting on April 11th. Harmon, who also has U.S. citizenship, on Friday suggested that government would await the CCJ's ruling on the no-confidence motion appeal before determining the fate of dual citizens in the House. Pressed on whether the government was being duplicitous by recognizing part of the Court of Appeal ruling, which, while ignoring another part, Harmon said that is not the case, and he said the government will abide by the CCJ ruling.
This matter has engaged the attention of the High Court of Guyana. It's engaged the attention of the Court of Appeal, and it is also a matter which is being appealed to the Caribbean Court of Justice as one of the grounds for appeal. In that regard, the attorneys representing the state will advise the government with respect to the situation with members of the government that are dual citizens. So in that regard, I will say that this matter is still engaging the attention, and Cabinet has not made a ruling on it. In that regard, it is contemplated that on the 11th of April 2019, when the National Assembly sits, that all of the members on the government side will be there.
Both the government and opposition have members of Parliament who hold dual citizenship, while the opposition will stay from the National Assembly until the CCJ's ruling. Its members with dual citizenship will also hold on to their MP positions, although at least 2 of them have indicated they intend to give up their foreign citizenship. And coming up in Caribbean Newsline, Venezuela's opposition leader barred from holding further public office. Stay with us. More news after this.
Don't jump up to this non-stop turn and twist.
What up, it's your boy French Montana.
It's me, Smokey Robinson.
It's your boy David Doe.
Hi, I'm Elme.
This is Bucci Banton, and I'll be performing live with the Shiloh Band in St. Kitts Music Festival.
Don't miss the 23rd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival, June 26th to June 30th, 2019. Featuring Bucci Banton, Smokey Robinson, Popcorn, and Elme. Also, Davido, French Montana, Fimba, Edwin Yearwood and Crossfire, Coco T, Skinny Fabulous, Shal Marshall, Charlie Black, Farmer Nappy, Nadia Batson, Infamous, New Vibes Band, and many, many more. It will be epic. It will be mind-blowing. It will be jaw-dropping. It will be awesome. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other. For more information and to buy tickets, log on to www.stkittsmusicfestival.com.
Venezuela's opposition leader Juan Guaido will be barred from holding further public office for 15 years. According to the country's Comptroller General Elvis Amoroso, Guaido's personal financial statements contain inconsistencies. The decision to prevent Guaido from holding office would come into force if he decides to put himself up for re-election at the end of his current term in the National Assembly.
Considering the citizen Juan Guaido, during the time that he has exercised his function as a lawmaker for the National Assembly, has been outside the country for over 248 days, equaling over 8 months, and with an average cost per stay of 200 million bolivares, without ever declaring where he received the funds to pay for such lavish spending.
Who declared himself interim president in January, rejected the announcement. He said Amoroso is not the Auditor General and that the legitimate Congress is the only entity with power to designate an Auditor General. And the United States, which has thrown its support behind the opposition leader in his attempt to replace President Nicolas Maduro, described the move as ridiculous. The Caribbean Aviation Training Center is under scrutiny following a report from the probe into a deadly 2016 plane crash in Jamaica. The Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, the JCAA, released the report on the November 10, 2016 crash in Greenwich Town in St. Andrew that claimed 3 lives. And the 60-page document points to safety breaches on the part of the aviation training school which operated the plane involved in the accident. We get more in this report from TVJ's Dashan Hendricks.
The findings published by the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, JCAA, revealed that the engine which was installed on the ill-fated aircraft did not conform to its type design, and there were other discrepancies which did not make it airworthy. Among other things, it said the engine's camshaft showed signs of extreme wear and corrosion. The Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, which carried out the investigation, said in the report that despite numerous requests, the Caribbean Aviation Training Center was unable to provide a copy of the authorized release certificates for the engine and the propeller, which were reported to have been overhauled. The flight training school was also unable to provide a copy of the work order of the repair station where the engine was overhauled. Investigators say when the repair station identified in the maintenance entry was contacted in order to obtain a copy of the work order, it reported that the maintenance entry was forged and it did not have any information regarding the engine of the plane which crashed.
A veteran Trinidadian calypsonian wants the art form to be taught in schools, and we'll tell you about the latest celebration of the Caribbean's literary arts. This and more in this week's Newsline Entertainment.
Veteran Trinidadian calypsonian the mighty Chalk Dust wants calypso to be taught at schools, and he says he is ready to assist with the curriculum.
For example, I want to publish a book on using calypso in schools, and I mean that is going to cost me about $200,000 because printing here is so expensive. So if I would love to start doing it. Have a page showing the calypso, a page showing the music of the calypso, a page showing where the calypso came from and its history, and then a page showing how to apply that in our schools.
The 9-time Calypso monarch was recently honored by Republic Bank, but he says there are other calypsonians who are equally deserving of recognition.
There are so many persons here knocking on the doors. Valentina, for example, Bomber, all those guys are there. We lost composer. But there are so many of the guys who are there, Gypsy, or them have been knocking about since in the 70s. You know, hard to choose one, because so many of them are deserving of the honor for having contributed so much to the culture of the country.
The Caribbean's literary artists are being celebrated in Port of Spain at the 9th annual Bocas Literary Festival, and organizers say this year's event is expected to be the biggest so far. Founder Marina Salandi Brown is encouraging budding writers to participate in the event, which ends on May 5th.
And now more of our writers are making careers and also making our place on the world's literary and cultural map indelible. So our message to all aspiring and beginning writers is this: come to the 2019 NGC Bocas Fest and take advantage of our many different opportunities to hone your skills and share your work, to network with publishing professionals and be inspired by the books and ideas of our extraordinary lineup of festival authors.
Mary Claire Williams, Newsline Entertainment.
And ahead in sport, unifying the Caribbean cricket community and implementing reforms identified as the pressing issues for the new CWI president. The details after the break.
To mention Muse really quick because I had the pleasure of attending an event here and it was phenomenal. You have the different rooms, the different settings. I love the setup. I love the open space. I love the fact that it's in a community where it's not a buzz of artwork here. Not like that. You don't see that buzz. And then you go a couple of blocks over and there you have it. Buzz, buzz, buzz. But I like the way that you guys are making noise here in the community.
Come on now, we are making noise here.
Music is something I love, so we just always do it. So everything does right now I manifest and I look. The journey been great, you know, I learn a lot. When we just stepping at the game with it inexperience, so right now, just a learning process. As I tell you, some people are opportunists, you know. Them only come around for what you can do for them. So when them say no favor, the whole of them they will give up and go. Because you know it's a business. And we understand the business. Enough people come around if you say your artists are going to reach right now.
Chairman of CARICOM's Subcommittee on Cricket, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has identified the unification of the Caribbean cricket community and the implementation of governance reforms as the two pressing issues before new Cricket West Indies President Ricky Skerritt. Now speaking on VOB's Mason and Guest radio program in Barbados, Gonsalves said Skerritt and the new Vice President Dr. Kishore Shallow had campaigned on a visionary 10-point cricket first plan, and it is now important to first bridge the gaps between stakeholders and lay out a timetable for the restructuring of the CWI framework.
Well, the election represents a moment of and for change in the West Indies cricket, change for the better.
Yes.
It's about personalities, but far more than personalities, about processes and an agenda for reform. They outline in their 10-point plan an agenda for reform. And I expect that they will stick to their manifesto. I think one of the first things they have to do is to unite the whole of the cricketing family in the West Indies. They have to go to all the stakeholders in the various countries, the respective boards and players and the governments and other interested parties, and including territorial boards which didn't vote for them. So that's very important, to stamp unity on the West Indies cricket.
Gonzalez said the regional consultation proposed by his Trinidad and Tobago counterpart would be an excellent starting point and should be facilitated in a manner in which it can be productive as possible.
The next order of business, and could be done simultaneously because you can walk and chew gum at the same time, is to signal a timetable for reforms and for some major activities. I know Prime Minister Rowley, who was very dissatisfied with the Dave Cameron administration, has already talked about the summit. I think, though, that we need to prepare well for the summit. There are persons who are talking about you can't hold the summit too quickly. That's not my concern. My concern is that we prepare well for it with all the stakeholders so that it doesn't become a continuing university seminar, that we can have a good succinct analysis as to what is happening, where we are going wrong, and some of the things which we can put right, and some things which are immediate, and some things which are longer term, medium term, longer term, and you have a work plan to achieve these particular objectives.
Well, Skerritt says he intends to make sure the region's legends have a key role to play in Caribbean cricket development. He told CMC Sports the iconic former players are invaluable resources who need to be utilized properly to get the full benefit of their vast knowledge and experience. His comments came on the heels of recent controversial remarks by his predecessor Dave Cameron, who said some West Indies legends had not excelled when asked to perform roles within the administration.
I don't even feel competent to value the legends. Legends are invaluable. Their role and their value has been immeasurable. And of course it varies from one to the other. Some are more famous and more powerful and influential globally, and some are more powerful and influential regionally, or more powerful and influential locally. Bottom line is, what is their value to cricket at the local and regional level and international level? We are going to explore every opportunity that we can find where, in a way that is workable.
In endorsing Skerritt, former captain Sir Vivian Richards said last week the legends had invested much in the game and had valuable input. Skerritt said CWI would definitely be seeking out advice and expertise from such individuals.
I have no problems interacting with folks who have been there on the front line, who understand what takes place, even though they may not have played T20 cricket. They know cricket. Clive Lloyd was actually chairman of selectors when Jason Holder was chosen as a very young and green captain, chosen by Clive Lloyd, because he saw in Jason Holder the qualities that he knew were necessary for leadership going forward on the field. So I have no doubt that we can find a tremendous resourcefulness in the past cricketers.
Meanwhile, Dave Cameron says Caribbean cricket has not seen the last of him. He will be back. The Jamaican and his Vice President Emmanuel Nansen were handed a stunning defeat in CWI elections at the annual general meeting last Sunday, but he says he remains available to serve the region. The Jamaica Observer newspaper quoted him as saying, "It's been a remarkable journey. I have made a lot of friends, not just in the region but internationally, and we will be back. We are here to serve. If people at some point in time believe that we are needed, we are here to serve and we will continue." I think we have a lot to be proud of, winning back the Wisden Trophy after 10 years, seeing us compete the way we did against England just now. I tell you, I am very, very excited about West Indies cricket if we continue along the same trajectory. End quote. Cameron, who was denied a fourth straight term when he lost to Skerritt, said he would focus his efforts on the company, his company, a wealth management and investment venture. To the women's game now, West Indies all-rounder Deandra Dutton continued her heavy run scoring as recently crowned Super 50 champions Barbados launched their bid for a double with a comprehensive 99-run victory over Leeward Islands in the opening round of the Women's T20 Blaze on Thursday. We also learned in this report from HGP's Jaden Samuels that defending champions Trinidad and Tobago also opened their account with a victory after easily chasing down Guyana's 161 to win by 5 wickets with 8 balls to spare.
Batting first on a pitch which complemented good batting, the Barbadians ensured it was going to be an over 200 target. This was the case thanks to a quick-fire 63 of 23 from Deandra Dutton, a well-put-together 45 of 23 from Captain Haley Matthews. See Barbados meet 206 in their allotted 20 overs. In reply, Leeward Islands, whose bowling was off to a shaky start with only Shibani Bashkar and Shanisha Hector reaching 40 of 41 and 18 of 13 balls, respectively, the only scores of substance, but that was not good enough to give Leeward Islands a chance.
And that's the sports day with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Be let down, no, we're ready for you, and nobody can tell me now. I'm waiting. This know them watching me like Netflix. Now leave them in a silence. Them a wait for me to bring the vibes. Jamaican people.
Don't jump up to this non-stop turn and twist.
What up, it's your boy French Montana.
It's me, Smokey Robinson.
It's your boy Davido.
Hi, I'm LMA.
This is Buju Banton, and I'll be performing live with the Shiloh Band in St. Kitts Music Festival.
Don't miss the 23rd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival, June 26th to June 30th, 2019. Featuring Buju Banton, Smokey Robinson, Popcorn, and LMA. Also, Davido, French Montana, Fimba, Edwin Yearwood and Crossfire, Coco T, Skinny Fabulous, Shal Marshall, Charlie Black, Farmer Nappy, Nadia Batson, Infamous, New Vibes Band, and many, many more. It will be epic. It will be mind-blowing. It will be jaw-dropping. It will be awesome. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other. For more information and to buy tickets, log on to www.stkittsmusicfestival.com.
Again, the major developments of this day: the court in the Cayman Islands legalizes same-sex marriage. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sports around the clock, log on to cornernews.com. We'll be back here again on Monday. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching. Have yourselves a good night.